Hey, so I haven't done one of these in a while, right? It's been like, I don't know, when was my last one? Like, March? March? No, August? Whatever. Um, so yeah, we're still doing this. Corona, right? Still a thing. It's almost the anniversary. It's what people have been calling the anniversary of the pandemic, of quarantine, of lockdown, of all of this stuff, which we've collectively decided is March 12th. It's 2021. It's like February 23rd, 24th, 24th. February 24th, 2021. It's been almost a year. We have vaccines now. The Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna vaccine. And there's a third one that might be approved at some point. But they've approved it. They're doing it in sections. 1, 2, and 3. They've approved it to be taken by anyone who's over 16. So some of the people I know have taken it. Some of the people in my classes have taken it because they're essential workers. They both have 2 doses. You take one and then like a week or 2 later, you get the other one. The other one is supposed to make you react so you don't feel well for like a day or so. But there's President Biden. Oh yeah, we have a new president, President Biden. Trump may, the new election, right? The 2020 election. Biden was winning, and Trump was protesting the entire time that it was a fake, fraudulent election and a bunch of other bullshit. Once all of the news stations and everything for Biden, all of Trump's little fan club, was outraged. And on the day that they were supposed to confirm with casting the electoral votes and whatever, the Trump supporters, the domestic terrorists, attacked the Capitol. They staged a coup. They were repelled eventually. Though, stark reminder of how America is still quite racist. When there was a peaceful Black Lives Matter protest at the Capitol in Black Lives Matter Plaza. It's been renamed Black Lives Matter Plaza now. It was peaceful, right? No one had any weapons. No one tried to go up the steps of the Capitol, nothing. And they had the National Guard in full force. Right. And this time, they knew that there was going to be a coup, right? Trump supporters has been spouting for weeks that they were going to do this. No National Guard, none at all. barely even the Capitol Police Force, right? Mayor Bowser, the mayor of DC, called for the National Guard's Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, literally anyone who would help. Eventually they got there. And of course now you can't even go within sight of the Capitol or the White House. But yeah, Mayor Bowser called for them 3 days before the coup, right? The terrorist attack. They didn't come. They came eventually, but they didn't come. Anyway, we have a new president now, President Biden. He's promised to do a bunch of stuff like get a handle on the climate crisis, rejoin the Paris Climate Accords. He put out a new plan for getting more vaccines. He's looking towards getting more protection for LGBTQ individuals and people of that community, especially those seeking asylum from other countries. He overturned pretty much everything that Trump did in his first 2 to 3 days in office, which is great. But yeah, he has a plan now that should give us enough to vaccinate the entire country by Christmas 2021, he said. Don't know if I'm quite that optimistic, but I will be getting it as soon as it's available. They're currently vaccinating Group 1B now, which is like the elderly and like all teachers and stuff, and people down to like, elderly and teachers. Group 1A was medical staff, essential workers, the elderly, like 60 and above, those people. And Group 1B is some more jobs like non-essential but like heavily needed workers. I don't know. I can look it up. And people to like 60 to 40, I think. Group 2, which will be when I'm eligible to get it. Because I'm 17. Group 2 is supposed to be soon. There's 1C that needs to get their vaccines, but once 1C gets their vaccines, then I should be eligible to get mine, which is great. I'll be getting it as soon as possible. They're supposedly trying to get people to go back to school in person next week. The teachers, for the most part, are back. The ones who chose to come back and teach in person anyway. So our school schedule has changed twice in the past month. I'm staying online because I don't trust people. I will hope that once they approve the vaccine for people under 16 that my school and all schools, all everywhere, will require you to have the vaccine before you can enter the place. Unless, of course, you can have an exception if you're, allergic or have some sort of compromisation. Sure, you could provide a doctor's note for that, but it's just like what they have currently, where you have to be vaccinated for I don't know, a whole bunch of different things. You had to get a ton of shots in 6th grade before you go to high school. I want them to do it like that, where you're not allowed to go in unless you have the vaccine, because I don't trust people, the general populace, everyone, to get it by themselves. I know a ton will, but there's always those Karens, boomers, chads, anti-vaxxers who will put everyone else at risk just because they don't want to. In history, we were reading about the last pandemic in 1918 and how in many states they arrested people if they didn't have a mask on. And I'm like, yes, hello, can we do that, please? Karen, you and your friends are going to jail because you won't freaking put a mask on? Can we do that, please? Um, 2020 was insane. It was just hell, bad thing after bad thing the entire year. And 2021, we thought was going to be better until, of course, the coup on January 6th, which, we had 5 whole days. Well, here's to 2022. And after that, it's continued being sucky. Not quite as fast-paced as 2020 was, but thanks to climate change, the polar vortex, which is this permanent storm that's supposed to be concentrated over the North Pole, it keeps most of the winter and whatever there. Yeah, the current that's supposed to keep it there has been breaking because of climate change, and now it's warped it to the point where it's dripping down over the world, and it's frozen most of America, including Texas. And that's really bad because Texas is not used to this kind of weather. Most of the state is without power, and there have been pipes bursting and things freezing, and it's really not good. Ted Cruz, their senator, right? Instead of helping, he went to go on a vacation to Mexico, leaving his dog in a house with no heat and abandoning his state to go on a vacation to Mexico. And then he blamed it on his 9-year-old daughter. So because of the whole polar vortex thing, we've got snow here. We had snow here 4 times this year, and it hasn't snowed, thank you, climate change, for 2 years, but it snowed 4 times this year. I got my driver's license. I can now drive by myself. Not that there's anywhere to drive to, but I can. Um, started the whole like college grind thing, the like applications. Want to get into art school, so I'm like working on a portfolio. I'm missing the whole, going to see colleges, like tour their campus and whatever, because, pandemic, we're not allowed to go anywhere. Some of them, though, have posted virtual campus tours, and I've, like, watched those, because, I want to have at least some information about the campus before I choose where to go. God, this is terrifying. Like I'm, working on my life and whatever, and then school and stuff. And sometimes, even though we're a year into this pandemic, it just, like, strikes me that, like, we are literally living in a horror movie. Like, there are multiple horror movies about exactly this. And, like, sometimes I say a sentence, like, sometimes I say a sentence, right, about the pandemic, and, like, it sounds completely normal, because, we're living in hell, but then, like, I have a brief moment where I realize that, like, no, it's not a normal sentence. It shouldn't be a normal sentence. Like, it's really not a normal sentence. I'm hoping, maybe, that, like, I might go back to school for senior year, like, in the building. I don't know. Definitely not doing it to finish junior year. Like, I'm staying online, because I don't trust people. Rambling, I'm all over the place, but, my brother has lizards, right? And the lizards need to eat, and they eat crickets. So I drive to Petco to get him crickets. Last week, no crickets, because they all froze to death in Texas. This week, also no crickets, because they froze to death in Texas. So, we've, like, been feeding the lizards bananas and, I don't know, mango. I don't know what they eat. My brother does. They're his lizards. He figures it out. I have, my final two, standardized tests for, to graduate this year. I'm gonna do them this March, and then I don't need to take any more standardized tests. Although, I took the SAT, and I got a score that's good enough to get into most of my schools, except for one. And I'm gonna take it again in June, because I haven't finished trig. And it would probably be good to do that. Oh, I took a math course over the summer at one point during school. And I got a credit for that, so I don't have to take math next year. which is going to be great. And there's no specific required science next year. So I'm going to take oceanography, which doesn't have any math in it. So really, I'm not going to have to take math next year. And since I'm applying to art school, most of the schools on my list don't require math, and some of them don't even offer it. So it's possible I might never have to take math again, which will be great because I suck at math. I think at the beginning when I started doing these vlogs, I opened with some, like, I don't know, speaking to the future. If, like, any of you are watching this for, like, a history test for, like, a primary source. I mean, likely I'll never know, but, like, if anyone does, then, like, I hope this is helpful. I doubt it, but, I mean, we read the Diary of Anne Frank, so, like, I don't know, maybe someone could find this. If so, hi, hope you don't fail, because I'm not a great primary source. We're gonna go skiing soon. And, it's weird, because, like, we're not gonna be able to go inside at the ski area, right, because COVID. But also, like, they have to space everyone out. So, like, it's really hard to get tickets, because there's a lot of people, and they've, like, deleted most of the capacity, because, you know, COVID. I don't know. That's the end of this one. Corona vlog number. I don't frickin' know. You figure it out. Bye.